My mother couldn't be here today. At 84, you know my mother's gone long ago. But I brought her anyway. There's my mother. And she'll be criticizing the chords that I play. She was a musician as well.
I was going to say.
There's a general agreement that mothers are extraordinary people, as you are, the water girl. Thank you. I don't want to put this up there, look like I'm in a bar when he takes the pictures of it. Mothers can kiss a hurt and make it well. Mothers can cause a pot to stop boiling just by looking at it. A mother can fix a can opener with a paper clip. A mother discovered radium. Others have written great poetry, became high judges, and mastered bulldozers. The idealized mom of old, spending her time darning socks and baking apple pies and radiating good cheer, has been replaced by another kind of woman in most places. If indeed the meek, helpmate of former years ever really existed as imagined. Mothers now are apt to be found on a tennis court, or playing violin in a symphony, or running a business. She has a long way to go in obtaining equality in pay and responsibilities, but she's working on it. Her magic is the same through the years, through the generations. She can tell by a crying in the night whether the baby has a problem as he wants a drink of water or there's a monster in the closet. She can sing a song that puts fretful babies to sleep and tell a ghost story that livens a rainy evening. Mothers now understand differential calculus and read the periodic tables, but the old skills never change. There are lots of songs that sing about mother. All kinds of mothers. We're going to find those today. So we're going to sing for our mother. So get those song sheets ready. Here's the first one. Back in 1905, some mothers were reading about the English suffragettes using arson and bombing and hunger strikes to bring attention to their cause. At home, mothers read what former President Grover Cleveland said: sensible and responsible women do not want to vote. And you can know they did not believe a word of what he said. Here's a poem by Edgar Guest. Mothers never change, I guess, in their tender thoughtfulness. All her gentle long life through, she is bent on nursing you. And although you may be grown, she still claims you for her own. And to her, you'll always be just a youngster at her knee. And there certainly has to be a mother somewhere when your daddy's a little girl. So let's sing another one. You're the end of the rainbow, a pot of gold. Your daddy's little girl to have and to hold. A precious gem is what you are. Your mommy boys. They were twins, just a little younger than I. 1906 was the year of the San Francisco earthquake. It was the year the Victrola was introduced by the Victor talking machine. And the year George M. Cohan, producer, director, and star of the show 45 Minutes from Broadway, introduced the next song into the public's heart. And all the Marys in the world claimed that the song was written for them. Will Rogers' mother's name was Mary, and he said, "If your mother was an old-fashioned woman named Mary, you don't need to say much for her. Everybody knows already." On your tables, you see a little sign. These are words that mean mother in different languages. You may want to walk around and see how many languages you recognize. Thanks for the girls in the office who got it all fancy today. And we're being televised if you haven't noticed. In the Cohan show, 45 Minutes from Broadway, the simple housemaid Mary explains how she got her name. And she tells why she's happy to have it. The song was introduced on Broadway by Faye Templeton. And like most popular songs in America, it has a verse. We kind of familiar with the chorus, but here's the verse. My mother's name was Mary. She was so good and true. My voice. Because her name was Mary, she called me Mary too. Though Mary's ordinary, Maria's fair to see. Don't ever fear, sweet Mary. Beware of sweet Marie. Now you know the chorus. For it is Mary, Mary, plain as any name can be. But with propriety, society will say Mary. But it was Mary, Mary, long before the fashions changed. For there is something there that sounds so square. It's a grand old name. Do we have any Marys today in the audience? Not even a middle name, or a name that you don't usually use? Pardon me, I don't know where this voice thing came from. I want to put it on the piano. Okay. In 1916, Europe was at war. In the States, Pancho Villa was a threat to New Mexico. The first woman congresswoman was elected by the voters in Montana. 1916 was the year Henry Ford bought a site on the Detroit Rouge River for a gigantic new motor car plant. And it was the year that Mr. Peanut was introduced by the Planters Nuts and Chocolate Company. And the year New Orleans' Tony Jackson wrote the next song. So, can't read my own writing. Everybody loves a baby, that's why I'm in love with you. Pretty baby, pretty baby. And I'd like to be your sister, brother, dad, and mother too. Pretty baby, pretty baby. Won't you come and let me rock you in my cradle of love? And we'll the 19th Amendment of the Constitution granted women the right to vote. And that year, this song paid tribute to mothers. Now, this was not on the song sheet, so I guess I have to sing it all by myself. I dreamed I saw my dear old mother kissing me goodbye, and though her heart was breaking and the tears shone in her eye, she whispered, "Boy, don't let our parting grieve you anymore, but just remember this is what God made all mothers for, to watch over you when a baby, to sing you to sleep with her song, to try to be near you, to comfort and cheer you, to teach you the right from the wrong, to do all she can to make you a man, and over a million things more, to sigh for you, cry for you, yes, even die for you. That's what God made mothers for. And as many young men were returning home that year from Europe, this song was popular all over the country. The one we're going to sing next, written in 1919. I'll sing the verses, and then you join me on the chorus. How you gonna keep them down on the farm after they've seen Perry? A mother and a father have a little chat in the verses. Reuben, Reuben, I've been thinking, said his wifey dear, now that all is peaceful and calm, the boys will soon be back on the farm. Mother Reuben started winking and slowly rubbed his chin. He pulled his cap up close to Mother and he asked her with a grin, here we go. How you gonna keep 'em out on the farm after they've seen Perry? How you gonna keep 'em away from Broadway, dancing around, painting the town? How you gonna keep 'em away from harm? That's a mystery. They'll never want to see a rake or plow, and who the deuce can party who a cow? How you gonna keep 'em down the farm after they see Perry? Reuben, Reuben, you're mistaken, said his wifey dear. Once a farmer, always a jay, and farmers always stick to the hay. Mother Reuben, I'm not faking, though you may think it's strange, but wine and women play the mischief with a boy who's loose with change. How you gonna keep 'em down the farm after they've seen Perry? How you gonna keep 'em away from Broadway, jazzes around, painting the town? How you gonna keep 'em away from harm? That's a mystery. Imagine Reuben when he meets his pa. He'll kiss his cheek and holler, ooh la la. How you gonna keep 'em down the farm after they see Perry? Moving into the roaring 20s we go. All these songs times we have together, we do a lot of history, but there'll be no test, I promise. Here's another song by George M. Cohan. This one was from 1922. In February of that year, 1922, the first radio was installed in the White House. And in June of that year, President Warren G. Harding made his first radio speech. In April, the state of Massachusetts opened all public offices to women. Yay, Massachusetts. And in November, the first woman United States Senator, the Honorable Rebecca Felton of Georgia, took the oath of office. 1922 was the year the Lincoln Memorial was dedicated, and construction began on Yankee Stadium. George M. Cohan's Broadway musical, Little Nellie Kelly, opened at the Liberty Theater in November of 1922. He dedicated this musical to the memory of his father and to his surviving mother. You asked me why I fell in love with you. I'm gonna tell you a truth, dear. I'm gonna tell you the truth. The reason why I fell in love with you is because, my darling, I find that you always bring to my mind a certain someone I have loved since before I cut a tooth. It's his mother, you know it is. You remind me of my mother. My mother was a lot like you. So many little things you do, I find that brings to mind my mother. I never thought there'd be another would have a sweet appeal or could make me feel that the old fool world was real. I've got a tintype of my mother. When mother was a girl like you, you took a lot like you too. Her hair was just as fair, her eyes used to twinkle just the same as your eyes do. You remind me of my mother, that's why I love you. I wonder if there's a problem coming up about that. My mother always did it this way. Can't you just hear that? Okay, 1925. Help me with this one. Does your mother know you're out, Cecilia? Does she know that I'm about to steal ya? Oh my, when I look in your eyes, something tells me you and I should get together. How about a little kiss, Cecilia? Just a kiss you'll never miss, Cecilia. Why do we keep on wasting time? Oh, Cecilia, you say that you'll be mine. The 8-hour day and the 5-day week was introduced by the Ford Motor Company in 1926. That was the year Father Coughlin made his first radio address over WJR in Detroit. One of the popular books of 1926 was Edna Ferber's Showboat. And in the children's section, The Little Engine That Could appeared, written by Mabel C. Bragg. There were women on the sports page as well. Helen Wills was burning up the tennis courts, while Gertrude Ederle became the first woman to swim the English Channel. Not every woman is created to be a mother. Katharine Hepburn knew this. And Katharine Hepburn was the movie star. And here's what she had to say about that. Being a housewife and a mother is the biggest job in the world. But it does not interest you, don't do it. It did not interest me, so I didn't do it. Anyway, I would have made a terrible parent. This is Katharine Hepburn talking. The first time my child didn't do what I wanted, I'd kill him. Pretty drastic, eh? I'm not really sure that Fanny Brice would have been made a wonderful mother at that time, but all those actresses were all different, just like mothers are today. The next year, in 1927, the wonderful show Showboat was now a musical on Broadway. Babe Ruth hit his 60th home run that year, and it was the year of the Ford Model A. The Colgate Company introduced Super Suds. Do they still sell Super Suds? Next time you're in the grocery store, we'll check it out. This was a quick melting laundry soap that was in the form of beads instead of flakes or powders. Just in time to keep everything clean in my blue heaven. In history, we're going to go all the way to 1945. The war ended in Europe in May of that year, and the war in the Pacific was over in August. Penicillin was introduced on a commercial basis after its wide use on the war front. Ballpoint pens went on sale for the first time in 1945, along with a scandalous book written by Kathleen Winsor, Forever Amber. 1945 was a year when the Detroit Tigers won the World Series. Bring back 1945. They beat the Chicago Cubs that year 4-3. The year that Tupperware was founded by former DuPont Chemical Company chemist Earl W. Tupper. On Broadway, John Raitt, now he's the daddy of Bonnie Raitt, if you follow that style of music, starred in the new Rodgers and Hammerstein musical Carousel. And though the main love affair was not a happy one in this show, there was another couple, Mr. and Mrs. Snow, who sang this song in the musical. When the children are asleep, we'll sit and dream the things that every other dad and mother dream. When the children are asleep and lights are low, if I still love you the way I love you today, you'll pardon my saying I told you so. When the children are asleep, I'll dream with you. We'll think what fun we have had and be glad that it all came true. The autobiography of Mother Jones came out in 1925. Mother Jones, 95 that year, was Irish-American, union organizer Mary Harris Jones. Her slogan was, "Pray for the dead and fight like hell for the living." Like that. The Manager Clinic opened in 1925 in a farmhouse in Topeka, Kansas. Tallulah Bankhead was starring in Fallen Angels on Broadway. And a bachelor by the name of George Hecht quit his lucrative family's business and started Parents Magazine, devoted to raising children. And it's still out there. Tie me to tie me to your apron strings again. I know there's room for me upon your knee. Bring back all those happy hours when you kissed my tears away from day to day. I thought that I was right, but I was wrong. Please take me back tonight where I belong. Sing a cradle song to me, and then won't you tie me to your apron strings again? Anybody here remember their mother singing to them at night?
Yes.
No, mine did. My mother had all kinds of things. Some of them are a little scary. She sang one about a big black bear. And she'd stretch out the words and then go, woof, right in your face. You know? Of course, we all then giggle and have a good time. But I can remember some of those songs that my mother used to sing. Two mothers of famous men died in the year 1952. Where were you in 1952? Junior high for me, I think. Teresa Capone, you got that last name? Capone. She's a mama. Teresa Capone had left Italy in 1893 with her husband and their first son to settle in New York City. Her husband died in 1920, and her fourth son, Alfonso, took over the family's welfare. He moved to Chicago, where he became a success in the Chicago underworld. He moved his mother and his family to Chicago. You do anything for your mother. They lived in a large house in a quiet suburb. The basement walls were of reinforced concrete, 1 foot thick, and the windows had close-set bars. After his notorious life as the leading Chicago mobster, he was sent to prison for tax evasion. His mother visited him, but little conversation was had because foreign languages were forbidden in the prison visitation room, but little conversation was had because she could not speak much English. While in prison, Al Capone learned to read music and improvised on the banjo. He's a musician. He composed a song, the whole story is to get to this last sentence. He composed a song called Mother. Everybody's supposed to go, oh. When his mother died at the age of 85, she was buried near her son, about whom she had always insisted. Well, you know what she said. Al's a good boy. The other mother was Kate Cole, C-O-L-E. She was born in the early 1860s and grew up in Peru, Indiana. She fell in love with the local druggist, Samuel Fenwick Porter, and married him in 1884. Her son Cole was born in 1891. If you put it together, Cole Porter. A fortune teller had told her that children became famous if their initials spelled a simple word. Have you ever heard that before?
No.
I never heard that until I saw this in the whatever book I got it out of. So if your initials spell something, my initials at birth was E-K-P. That's what it spells. A fortune teller had told her that, so Cole was promptly given a second name, Albert, and his initials then spelled C-A-P, Cole Albert Porter. But we know him just as plain old Cole Porter. Mama Porter made him practice the piano and sent him off for violin lessons, and at the age of 10, he began to compose songs. After high school, he went to Yale, and at the insistence of his father, then attended Harvard's law school. The rest is an important part of American popular music history. Both Mama Capone and Mama Porter died the same year, 1952, the year that the world was singing this Cole Porter song. The song is Love and Marriage. It's from a TV production, not a Broadway show, a TV production of Thornton Wilder's Our Town. And it shared the pop charts the same year, Rock Around the Clock, and Love is a Many Splendored Thing. This is the Cole Porter song. Maybe even a bit schmaltzy when we honor mothers, our own and our friends' mothers and the relatives who are mothers. So I'd like to share something that has been in my mother file for a long time, and it's titled The Lord's Masterpiece. When the good Lord was creating mothers, he was into his 6th day of overtime, when an angel appeared and said, "You're doing a lot of fiddling around on this one." And the Lord said, "Have you read the specs on this order? She has to be completely washable, but not plastic. She must have 180 movable parts, all replaceable. She must run on black coffee and leftovers. She must have a lap that disappears when she stands up, and a kiss that can cure anything from a broken leg to a disappointed love affair, and 6 pairs of hands." The angel shook his head and slowly said, "6 pairs of hands? No way. It's not the hands that are causing the problem," said the Lord. "It's the 3 pairs of eyes that mothers have to have. 1 pair to see through closed doors when she asks, 'What are you kids doing in there?' when she already knows. Another eye in the back of her head to see what she shouldn't, but what she has to know. And of course the ones here in the front, so that she can look at a child when he goofs up and say, 'I understand and I love you,' without so much as uttering a word. 'Lord,' said the angel, touching his sleeve gently, 'come to bed Tomorrow you can, I can't, said the Lord. I'm so close to creating something so close to myself. Already I have one who heals herself when she is sick. She can feed a family of 6 on 1 pound of hamburger. And she can get a 9-year-old to stand under a shower. The angel circled the model of a mother very slow. It's too soft, he said. But tough, said the Lord. You cannot imagine what this mother can do or endure. Can it think, said the angel. Not only think, but it can reason and compromise, said the Creator. Finally, the angel bent over and ran a finger across the cheek. There's a leak, he pronounced. I told you were trying to put too much into this model. It's not a leak, said the Lord. It's a tear. What for? Said the angel. It's for joy, sadness, disappointment, pain, loneliness, and pride. You are a genius, said the angel. The Lord looked somber and said, I didn't put it there. Being a girl from Louisville, Kentucky, that's me, I'm going to share a short ode to a mother from Louisville, Kentucky, not mine. It was written by a poet from my hometown. Do you know any poets from Louisville, Kentucky? You do. You all do. This was written in 1977 by a famous boxer. Any clues?
Muhammad Ali.
Cassius Clay.
Yes, same guy. Muhammad Ali and Cassius Clay. They're not two different people. Cassius Clay is his birth name, I guess, and Muhammad Ali, when he became a whatever they become. Here's his poem. Dear Mama, I wish I could talk like him. Dear Mama, it's Mother's Day, and I'm first in line to tell the world the greatest is grateful you're mine for raising and teaching the world's prettiest son. Between you and me, you're number one. Yay! Segregation in public golf courses, parks, and swimming pools was ruled unconstitutional that year. 1955 was the introduction of the Ford Thunderbird, the year Marilyn Monroe starred in the movie Bus Stop. And the year the story was published about the little girl who lived at the plaza. Anybody remember her name? Eloise. So, let's go back to the beginning of your song sheet. No, it's not. It's at the very next. It's in the song sheet. I wrote this differently the first time I did it. There's another verse to M-O-T-H-E-R, so we're going to close. Unless somebody has a memory of a mother they'd like to share, a short memory.
I was just going to say, we all miss our mothers now, you know, because there's nothing more special than your mother.
That's right.
You know, no matter who you are.
You remember how she did it, and how she cooked it, and what she did. Yeah. What key am I going to play this in? Same key I did the one before. It is for the mercy she possesses, always that I honor all I own. T is for her tender sweet caresses, H is for her heart that made a home. E means everything she does to help me. R means real and regular. C, put them all together, they spell mother. A word that means the world to me. Thanks for coming, all you mothers.